they're not stupid. They're not Luddites. But they are those people that think they know just enough to yell at you and say, I've already tried that. That's not how that works. You're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And I am like my brother in Christ. You called me. If you want your own IT done, do it your fucking self. My God.
Yeah.
It's just, it's pain. It really is. Because people will be like, oh, well, I've already done that. I don't think it works that way. Oh, this is how this is supposed to actually go. I'm like, okay, so let's run this down again.
Yeah.
You tried this, didn't work. Great. Did you try it a second time? Well, why would I try it a second time? Because some things take more than one try. Have you ever thought of that? No, I didn't. And that's why you don't work here.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, when an IT person also calls IT, that they're also annoyed. Like
I love whenever because the biggest thing is my IT team is always like we're a small IT team, even though we cover like a whole gamut of different companies. But whenever we call, we're like immediately just, hey, I broke something and I don't know if you can fix it because I can't fix it, and we're basically skilled for the same thing. And I'm like, goody. So here we go. Now, let's see if we can fix this, and this. And they're like, oh, well, I already tried that. How many times? 7 times. You're persistent. Good. However, fuck.
Try the eighth time.
I've had so many times where
Might as
it's
well
just
make
like,
it 10
I can
to make
fix
it
your computer.
even.
Make it 10, make it an even dozen. Let's go ahead
Nah,
for 12.
eight's better. Come on, we're IT people. We count in binary, not decimals.
Yeah.
Well, 10 is just a 1 and a 0.
Yeah, but
also
also
There you go.
it's not nicely represented in binary. Okay.
That's fair.
Oh, I mean, oh my God, if I could solve everything in binary, that'd be great. Of course, if I could solve everything in hex code, that'd be great too. But people would look at me like, oh, you man speak weird alien language.
Yeah.
No, I just speak math, and I hate it.
Math is always fun.
Math is always
Especially when it works well enough, but then there's like some weird bug thing that you're like the math tech shouldn't even be allowed to do this. What the fuck is it doing?
As someone who went, I went to college for my for programming, and I tell people all the time, because they're like, oh, well, I have to take math for it. I'm like, I don't think you understand. You don't have to take math for your programming degree. You have to take fucking numbers for your programming degree.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, you have to know how numbers speak to words.
Yeah. Math used to be fun in college.
You have to speak math in like an English language where math does not exist in English language.
Yeah.
You have to speak English.
Yeah. No, for when you actually got like the math subject, that was fun, but now they just not mathing.
It's math is math. Tell them so many times.
Math is math. IT would like to disagree.
Yeah, 1 + 1 does not equal 2 in this instance, my guy. You've programmed it for something else entirely. Congratulations, wormhole.
Yeah.
Thing I'm going to is I want to.
Yeah, math people try to tell us that x equals x plus 1 doesn't exist.
Oh,
Go ahead. Ask JavaScript how that math works. Let's see how many errors you can count to.
Also depends, yeah.
1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. 100, on the other hand, enjoy.
What the fuck does that do? 3 less than 2 less than 1 minus false?
What?
JavaScript? I honestly haven't. I don't do JavaScript.
JavaScript. Oh, JavaScript is pain. JavaScript is great if you like looking at, you know, oh, you fucked up here, here,
True
here, here,
equals
here,
one.
here, here, here.
Oh god, wait, oh god, no.
Math.
Oh. Yeah. You want a bigger pain? Try looking up the esoteric programming language called JSFuck.
Oh.
That will show you just how fucked JavaScript is.
It's,
Because
yeah,
that is
it's-
completely valid JavaScript, which is fucked.
Oh yeah. I mostly do Python and stuff like that myself, but sometimes
Yeah.
it's just like, oh yeah, JavaScript. Yeah, I can sort of.
Yeah. Yeah, I do C++ myself.
C++ is usually pretty good. C++, JavaScript. No, wait, I said JavaScript. Get that out of here. C++, Python. Swift can go to hell.
To be fair, again, if you're
Writing assembly, like a compiler is gonna out-assemble you so fast.
Yeah. Okay. Bro, just here, do my homework for me.
Yeah. I mean, basically.
Yeah. I mean, if you really want to write your own stuff, you could just go to like, say, oh god, what's a really ugly one?
Scratch.
Not ref.
Instant wretch.
Thank you for bringing that memory back. I hate it. So you're like, ah, yes. What's a good terrible thing that I've wiped from my brain? Ah, there it is, hiding in the darkest recesses.
Yeah, there you go.
Lego NXT programming.
Honestly, Scratch is fine for like people learning programming, right?
No,
But
I am not. So we had a robotics team at the college I used to work at. Yeah, and a lot of what they did was they worked
I'm
through
so sorry
like.
for you.
Love that. But yeah, they had like a whole Lego team that they were doing for robotics, and I'm like, oh man, what do you guys, program all your robots in? And they pulled up this like weird, goofy ass Lego, robotics.
Like block code type stuff.
Oh yes, like the.
And I'm looking at it, I'm like, what are you
yeah.
guys doing? And they're like, sins against humanity. I'm like, fair.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't really think that those like visual programming languages are that bad for like people getting into programming, right? But after that, like, you can't organize those bitches somehow. Like, the whole thing is that they're like visual and you have like a representation. You can move it around, and somehow it always is the messiest shit that you ever see.
Behold,
like how,
I've nested 20 if-and statements. What?
I mean, let's not pretend as if that doesn't happen in regular coding.
What? Yes. And no comments. What does this do? I don't know. I can't
Don't
find
remember.
the information.
I say Resonate uses block coding, and you can actually like visually display it in the world, and it's just like some things I've seen. It's just this mountain of text and lines everywhere.
I
Oh
was,
my
because I have a
God.
buddy of mine who also does Resonate, and he's showing me like they have like all these different code like objects you can pull, but then they also have like these objects that do fuck all and have like no purpose. Just like, why is that there? And they're like, so you just put in the code, it does absolutely nothing, but then probably bork something later on. Like,
Yeah.
that's fair, but we're gonna look at that, think it
Hey,
actually
the
does something.
true
and be like,
programmer
oh, I can-
experience.
They're gonna put that instant block of code somewhere and be like, oh yeah, that's actual code that it's running. No, you fool. You've ruined
Yeah.
everything.
I still need to go and try out Resonate sometime. I have a plan.
I haven't
but
tried it yet at all, yeah.
It seems pretty good.
It's just
It's,
Neos
from what I
again,
understand,
but in
yeah,
the
it's
crypto,
Neos,
so...
oh, thank God.
Yeah, I say
I
it's
know
the
that
good
was the
parts of
biggest
Neos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were trying to get like Ethereum or something like that, if I remember correctly, and it just did not.
Well, it
did
was
not
just the
go over.
CEO. Like, the CEO of Neos
Oh,
wanted
that's right,
some kind of
yeah.
crypto NFT integration into the game. So all the developers, the actual programmers, just fucked off and made their own game company using the same code of the game. So it looks identical
Yeah,
to Neos.
they
It plays
already have the
identical to
code.
Neos.
So they can just
Neos is just completely dead now because everyone fucked off and made Resonite. and
Can
that's
keep
pretty
open
good.
NDAs if everyone leaves.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it this way. No, you're not. I've got your code. You fool.
Well, they were able to launch Resonite within like, I think it was like 4 or 5 months of leaving Neos as well. Like, they were quick.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So
I mean,
they,
it's
they
hard
pretty
to,
much
you know.
just used the exact same game. It's really funny to me.
Yeah.
I think all that time was just changing all the logos.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, just swapping out, you know, parts of code that reference, especially because, you know, you're so overcode. Like, technically, they own the name Neos, and it's like, well, fine. Here you go. New shit.
All the UI stuff is
It's
the same
now
though.
BIOS.
Yeah. Pretty much runs like literally identical, from what I understand. Which
It
is,
does.
you know,
I played both and they're very, very much identical.
literally the same. Find these
They even have some of the
difference
same
between these two
bugs.
pictures.
Especially logging in. Logging is a pain in the ass, both of them.
I've fortunately never had to worry about that, but I assume if my buddy keeps bugging me about it, he'll probably be like, hey, you really need to try Resonite. Please try Resonite. I'm lonely. Fine.
It's worth playing around with. It's pretty cool. They got a lot of stuff
And they are
ported
crack.
to it.
But that
A lot of
is not
Gmod
good.
maps are imported to it, in fact, which is kind of cool.
Of course.
glorious Gmod, yep.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can, it's literally just Gmod from what I understand. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't say literally just
True.
Gmod, it's a weirder version of Gmod, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Oh yeah, you got like a spawn menu and a spool gun and everything. It's great.
Yeah.
I was kind of planning on testing it out on Tuesday, because I'm actually live right now, but I like stream a lot, and I was like, you know, it's funny. I play a lot of VR chat. This just seems like, you know, very interesting, so I wanted to try it as well.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I've always just known VR chat for the longest time. I'm like, but if I get into another one, then I gotta split my social life, and it's like, I'm already not all that social.
And the biggest problem is most people are already in VR chat, so trying to get more people to resonate when there's already people in one place.
Yeah.
An uphill battle and a
Yeah.
half.
I mean, it's also not a
Yeah.
Quest compatible game, right? Which it's never gonna be. Like, if they somehow manage to make that shit run on Quest, I'm gonna be impressed.
I don't even think
If
Chill's
it's-
not compatible yet. I don't think they may have Quest yet.
I think they need to go with
I
Quest
think VR
5
chat's the only Quest
to have
compatible one.
enough
Like, I don't
power.
think Chill Out or anything like that's on
Yeah.
Quest.
Well, you got Rec Room or like shit like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
forgot
mean-
that existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's like that's like the dark age of technology. We're not, we don't remember that.
I mean, we're still not that far into it. Like, it's still.
It's yeah. We
Like,
haven't hit the Renaissance yet.
when I first got like the VR headset, like I was like contemplating getting one for like the longest time because like there's just not that many games to like do on it. Like you got VR chat, you got Beat Saber, I guess you got like Super Hot, and then
Yeah, I mean,
Stuff like
Yeah.
Cloneworks and H3.
yeah.
Those are really
yeah.
good.
But like most of those things VR chat include as well are like glorified tech demos mostly.
That's
Yeah,
fair, yeah.
but that's kind of. I don't want to say that's the point of it, but at the same time, it's like VR itself really. It's a. I don't want to say it's a niche, but there's.
Kind of is.
Yeah, there's there's
It
VR.
absolutely is, yeah.
Yeah, nobody really. I mean, I
Stuff
remember
like
back in the day.
Boneworks.
Yeah,
Like Boneworks is
it's
the
more
last
of like,
game.
what can you do with it?
Yeah.
Although apparently, I'm hoping Disney's coming out with their own like thing for VR where it's like a walk pad or something like that, but it's like I'm trying to think. It's like they got inspiration from I want to say those systems that police training used for like those big open rooms where they have like those huge ass rolly pins on the ground, but this one's supposed to be like separate balls that they use, and it keeps you stationary while allowing you to move. So it's kind of like a movement
treadmill?
rig
Like a
to
VR
add
treadmill?
onto VR. Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's a treadmill. Yeah,
treadmill?
Yeah,
but it's made by Disney.
The Disney treadmill,
Really
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Didn't think Disney's ever gonna get into hardware. That's interesting.
For omnidirectional.
Yeah,
They've been
actually,
getting into
I was-
hardware already, but it's just that it's always like,
They
you know,
have?
the hardware
It's
for the video
proprietary
industry,
Disney,
yeah,
it's what they do
proprietary.
for their things. Yeah,
Oh,
they haven't tried
for their own
selling
like
it.
animation and stuff. I see.
Yeah. Apparently, the reason it's so popular is because the guy that invented it works for Disney, and he's like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna use it for all of our Disney stuff, for like our VR stuff, and people are looking at it and like going, oh, what's your secret?
And go like, ease for me?
Is for me?
Yeah.
I can has, please.
And then Disney goes like, nah.
Meanwhile,
Nah,
Omni's over there
DMCA.
like, yeah, we've got a treadmill, but you gotta rig yourself up to it,
Yeah.
shove it into your spine.
Yeah, it's already a process enough setting up full body, getting all the trackers on.
Yeah, I can't. Like, I've got the biggest thing right now is I'm
Yeah.
using an XR Elite, so I've got, I should say, a wire in the back of my head. But that wire in the back of my head also has the port that controls the trackers for full body. So I can't use full body if I'm wired in, but if I try using my trackers with wireless, the XR Elite gets a little bit finicky because it's like, wireless? Why? Why would you wireless? I'm like, because I want to do things.
Yeah.
Please, let me do
I
things.
recently, quote unquote, upgraded to the Valve Index mostly just to get like the base stations with it. And I was like, I might as well get
Come on,
like full
Index
body
now.
trackers with it. And I did
Yeah.
not realize how much of a pain it is to just wire up full body trackers. They all need. Why do they all need a separate dongle? Just have them share a dongle, please.
I was wondering that myself.
yeah.
Like, they apparently
Actually,
interfere even if they're
it's
close to each other, so there's something special they're doing.
Yeah.
So you have to keep them far from each other, which is so annoying, or else I just run a hub and one cable and call it a day.
Limited number of channels.
Yeah. I mean, I had to buy like a fucking USB hub specifically because because of all the dongles now that I have.
I put one in the front
It's-
thing of the Index, and the one in the front of my computer, and the one's plugged into my monitor. That's keeping them far apart
Oh, yeah.
from each other. I got kind of lucky in that.
Yeah, I don't think I would call mine very far apart. Like they're on the edges of the desk, and I'm one in the middle. That's the best I can do.
Probably far enough. I think it's only like a foot apart is how much they need to be.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was told.
See, I thought about doing, like, because originally when I was looking at it, I was like, I'll do maybe the Valve Index and I'll get the setup for it. I'm like, I don't want to screw in a bunch of base stations though. And then they came out with the XR Elite and they're like, 6-point tracking inside out. I'm like, tell me more.
No, I
I
used
wish
to.
to hear more of this.
There we go.
Yeah. If you guys are looking for like quote unquote cheap full body or like cheap quote unquote full body tracking, like I used to use like well actually I still use it. It's a program called Standable. It's very good. It's
Oh
not.
yeah.
It's
I think
not
a buddy of mine
full-
uses that
full
actually.
body
Yeah.
tracking. It's full body estimation.
I've
But
heard
they
it's
actually
really good.
recently updated it. It looks, I mean, apart from that your feet never leave the ground, it is basically indistinguishable from actual full body. And now they added also the ability to have like some of their like virtual trackers like being locked to like your actual trackers. So
Oh, okay.
it makes it even better. Like it is, mwah. It's only 20
When
euros.
I'm in
well,
VR, that's what I use.
Different for you guys, but
Yeah,
too,
say,
too
but
European to translate.
Fair.
Yeah, I think a buddy of mine uses that. He says it's pretty good, but for the most part, like I've just, because I bought like the XR Elite, they had a whole, bundle with this and get it cheap. And I'm like, okay. And they gave me like 3 extra trackers with it. So I'm like, oh, neat.
Yeah.
But I don't really use them too much because I'm strapped in. So it's like, okay, well, until I start figuring out my Wi-Fi situation, I'm gonna have to stick to having a cord in my face.
Yeah.
Yep. Where is my cable? Oh, there's my cable. Hello.
I am always very aware of my cable. It is.
Very much same.
I know, I'm just
I
kind
will
of sitting
trip
here
over
like,
Got like a sixth
it was one
sense
of those
for it.
things.
No, it just always
Sometimes I don't
touches
feel
my
my
back.
cable.
It refuses to just.
Oh.
I don't have like good place to put it away. It's just hanging.
I thought about getting like one of those, oh, what is it? The things that, the pulleys.
Just a hook.
Just like strapping. Just a
Yeah.
hook. Just,
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
a hook in the
maybe.
ceiling. And just,
Yeah.
There you go. Call it good.
Oh,
But then I know I like
speaking
to
of
wander too,
cables,
it's
are you guys like familiar with like how bad the cable is on like the Quest 2? It is actually like the
I haven't used the
connection, the
Quest headset.
connector is
Yes, I know you used it.
horrible. So they're using like a USB-C on the side, right? But if you use like the official linker cable, I think it's just with any cable in general. But I use the official cable. It does not. It doesn't stay in there. You touch like the side of your headset a little bit wrong, like not even the part where it's plugged in, just like some part of the cable, it unplugs. It just loses
Ugh.
connection. You're
Oh.
fucked.
Sorry to interrupt.
You're like
I have a
Steam
solution for the
VR
Quest
freezes up, and
with
then
the
you have
link
to
cable.
both restart your
I
PC
have a solution
and
for
your
that.
headset, because for some reason they can make the Oculus app work whenever it randomly disconnects. So you have to both restart your headset and your PC, and then hopefully,
Excuse
not
me?
always, hopefully
I have
it
a
will fix
solution
itself.
for that.
Damn.
For the Quest,
Maybe
for the Quest link, I have a solution
Yeah,
for that.
it is.
I do it.
It's horrible.
I say I'm pretty happy
It's,
with my index all around, so I haven't really looked
put,
into the Quest.
uh,
As much as
Velcro
wireless would be nice.
I did
Kinda just waiting for
in
this
good
one to die
conscience
before.
recommend the Quest if you do.
True. As I don't really have much interest in it.
Yeah. Like the screen is good,
The
right?
index
And that's
works
why I
with
said
me,
like upgrade in quotation marks when I said I went to the Valve Index, because you know screen is just arguably worse, but that's like the only part that's worse.
It is a much older headset. I think the index is like 5 years old at this point. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
But
still,
it's
for its
still-
age, it's doing good.
It's still an amazing. Like I've used it. It's way. It's
I like mine. I've
as
been using it.
comfortable as the Quest. It's like.
Yeah.
Way better. Like tracking is obviously better.
I
Oh, yeah. Apart from the visuals. No, even only the resolution is bad. Like you get higher frame rate as well because they actually have display ports connection instead of USB-C.
Well, I haven't really
Yeah,
had too
all my
much trouble
trackers
with.
use
I
like
can't-
inside out.
Fair. Like I don't really been able to see the screen door effect after I got rid of my Vive. The Vive was screen door as fuck, but this thing, I don't really see the pixels, so
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
I will say I
honestly,
like
another
Micro
headset I was looking at, which unfortunately is way too expensive, was like the Big Screen Beyond, like the new thing that came out.
Oh god, yeah, that thing looks sick.
It
does.
looks
Like
so
custom
sick.
molded
It
to your
seems
face.
just really good. Yeah, it's custom molded to your face. Had like OLED displays for like both your eyes, so like perfect. Like it's.
Man.
But it's like 1,400 euros.
Yeah, it's. I think I grand
Very,
in
yeah.
USD.
and then you don't even get trackers with it. That's just a headset.
Is it camera tracking or is it base station?
No, it uses Steam VR, so you also need to get base stations with it as well.
Oh damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I
Oh
thought it was
god.
camera.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, that's a pricey bitch.
Which I mean, inside out tracking is cool
Yeah.
too. But if it can
Yeah.
work with that, it can work with
Yeah.
that. But I
I
try
mean,
to
if-
avoid base stations. So
If this headset
enough.
ever dies, I might consider buying it because it will probably have lowered in price a little bit. But like
I don't know,
for
the
now,
Steam-
I
the
didn't have
fucking
any
index still hasn't lowered in
anything.
price.
Yeah,
It's still $1,000 for a new one.
yeah, yeah. But you can get refurbished for like 300. So
Dead ass?
yeah, no, on the
I guess if
Tuner
it's
store,
like-
that's basically how I got this one. It's just I got a sealed box from Tundra store. Wait, let me see how much it is currently. Like Tundra, like I had to buy a little bit extra because Tundra Labs is only in America, so I had to like pay importing fees. But
Fair enough.
like the sealed new in box Valve Index head mounted display, which you know it comes with 2 base stations and like the full set. It's
And the controller as well?
394 euros, which I can actually just translate that to dollars, I
That's
think.
like
No.
200 something, I think.
Yeah. Like it's nothing compared to like the actual price.
Yeah, so that's a hell of a deal. But for
Yeah.
a 5-year-old headset, I would expect deals like that. That's why it kind of bothers me
Yeah.
that it's still being sold new for $1,000. It's
Yeah.
old.
Yeah. It is what it is, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll say
Technology.
it was worth it when I bought it, but like nowadays, I don't know if I'd pay $1,000 for it. I don't know.
Nah.
Still, I'll just keep using it until it dies, and then whatever's the best thing at the time, I'll probably get. Trying to avoid
Yep.
Facebook hardware, though.
Oh yeah, no,
That's
absolutely.
Valid. Like
Deeply.
I just told you why you shouldn't get it. It is horrible. Also,
Yeah.
the audio drivers on your PC don't disable themselves when the headset isn't connected. It will just default to the audio drivers whenever you disconnect your current audio device.
So you just manually set it?
What?
Yeah, you have to like you know
That's
normally
annoying.
like it normally like shit just auto detects what device you're currently using, but when you have like those fucking Quest drivers installed, it just defaults to the fucking Quest headset, which isn't even connected. Yeah.
Fun all around.
Fun,
Yeah,
fun,
absolutely. What time is it? Oh, meetup
It
ended half an
is
hour ago, of
2:22.
course.
Yeah, say.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Damn. I mean, there's nothing happening right now. Unless any of you guys want to be a director.
No, no,
I
right
think
now.
the
Let's see
next
what,
one I was planning
yeah.
going to.
Yeah, I was planning
Oh,
on
yeah.
going to the dealer's den during this time slot, but I'm here now, so.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Is
Doesn't
it
it?
actually fucking open yet? Isn't it? Is it even? Yeah.
Well, before it was like cut off until I think about 4 today. I want to say. Let me check here.
There's a dealer's den meetup at
Friendship.
4.
Oh, it opens Friday at 6 p.m. EST for those of us in EST.
Really painful.
If you are not EST, I apologize.
You're fine. Don't sweat it.
Oh, so yeah, you're not. You're not EST.
Oh shit.
Oh,
I'm European. I am far behind, or it's ahead.
yeah, see, I think for a lot of us here, it's like almost 2:30 p.m. So.
The fucking lobby is at 67 people right now for the first instance. God damn. Oh. Hello. Hello, little creature. Looking at me with them big, soulful eyes.
So weird.
I love how Sage is over there getting
Slice
fucking
you in pieces. Who do we need to beat up?
attention.
They all have collisions. See the little
Yeah.
legs? That's cute. That's really cute.
I wonder if I can. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh god!
This is the head. Oh damn. So head.
I'm trying to dance. He ain't got no legs. Oh, okay. In the world.
Oh, that looks funny, yeah.
I'm like,
Oh, I love when tasks fail successfully.
That's my favorite. The best outcome.
I kind of feel like going out to the lobby because like it's really high density rooms right now.
No, the
Not sure
lobbies.
yet.
Yeah.
Cause like they got
I'm not in
they got
VR,
US.
so and I like just literally just woke up.
I was same though. I literally just crawled out of bed. uh,
There's an event in Final Fantasy I have to finish. I only have until the 10th.
oh, that's rough. Maybe I'll go join a US West instance and just check out. I haven't checked out the lobby world yet. I should do it anyway.
Yeah, I haven't seen it myself.
Okay, I'll drop into a US West and y'all do as thou wilt. It looks like Sage is having a good time over there.
Blah, blah, blah. It's doable.
I say,
Oh, what's that gonna be? The dealer's den?
Maybe I should just global the player count.
Just the dealers in general. Last time I looked, it was supposed to open at 2.
Just try and put that in.
Yeah, I don't know what the stage of that is. Actually, since I've got the invite open,
If it works.
try
If it works,
Dealer's
yeah.
Den. Dealer's Den says on its card. Oh wait, it doesn't say here.
It's not the dealers then meet. It's just like the dealers then in general was supposed to open
Yeah.
at 2.
Yeah, I'm looking at the.
And now it's
Dealer's
5.
Den in general. Oh right, your time, huh?
Yeah.
They did
supposed
say
to-
there was gonna be an offset of schedule, but I wouldn't think it to be that long.
Well, even if there's an offset of schedule, that shouldn't directly affect when the dealers then opens.
Yeah.
It's literally a digital con. Open the world. Unless it's like
Strangely,
an
the
offset
Dealer's Den
because you
doesn't. Oh.
have to look at
Saying,
you have to try to join a
strangely-
world.
Yeah. Oh, is that how it is? Okay. Oh, what would matrices be under? Actually, it's irrelevant. I should just fucking go to what I was doing. Before it's gone forever. What the fuck? Oh.
The Ajax has a booth this year.
Look forward to seeing all the booths. I need to pish, but the fucking bathroom's occupied. Wake up late problems. Hey, I'm gonna hop.
Alright, see you.
I'm too antisocial to.
I watched
So many games in
the streaming one. It was really good.
Yeah.
Major tag, free stack.
Minesweeper.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. I forgot people like Minesweeper.
Minesweeper is
There it
it's fun, but it's also like
Oh yeah, it's at the writers and the storytellers meetup. I need to go to that too, but that's already queued up for me. How much do I have on? Oh, 41%. Okay, I might just go charge this thing and call it good from there, just so I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one that was at like midnight.
The nice thing about the XR Elite,
yesterday.
it's fantastic. The not nice thing about the XR Elite, only 2 hours of playtime even when plugged in. Yeah, I know, right?
God
It's a bit of a, the battery cradle is like way back here in the brain, and it's weird.
and that's limited.
I don't mean to make you uncomfortable.
Nerd.
What do you mean, nerd? How you been, though? It's been a bit since I seen you.
It's been a while. Been okay for the most part.
we have one from Firon, our lovely dragon, events team lead. How do you balance your time effectively between volunteer responsibilities and your personal / work life?
What?
I wonder how that looked.
That is a large pickaxe. Habrás interactuado con ningún senador, comically large pickaxe. Or it's just otherwise, maybe it's just large to me. Who knows?
No hay que interactuar con ningún.
No, nadie puede saber que estamos aquí.
Estamos encubiertos.
¿Quién me descubre?
Well.
Sparks, where are you? I just saw you, but you squirreled away. Is that you? Hello. Would you believe me if I told you that there are places in this map you can enter that you cannot leave? I had to fly out of them. I got trapped. The indignity of it. I feel like they got their priorities a little out of order with the map making this year. What do I know, though? I'm just a worm. I'm just a worm, you hear me? Just a worm. That's right. Jog off, worm hater. Where's the small? Where'd the small go? Oh, there you are. Door. Yeah, there's doors, but like they take you someplace and sometimes there's no like, let's just fucking go in. Okay, see, this one has a door, the other one I took, it did not have a door. It was just like, it dumps you out on a balcony and there's no door behind you, it's just a cement wall. It's like, okay. This is cool though. Hello, creatures. What was that? Oh, I thought that was Mojito, but it's just a Stellarium. I'm gonna respawn and grab Monica. You just fucking left. You just left. You're out in the dying out in the fucking sun. Oh no! That's not.
We are furries, but we're also furries within the VR market. So we do several initiatives, both online and physical. So if many of you visited, for instance,
Hello. Good morning.
Hey.
Don't worry about how he says I spelled last.
Here, there, anywhere? Oh, there you are. I saw your little tail around that corner. Where'd you get to? Oh, are you a little weasel? I saw hydroponics over here. I want to check it out.
Entonces, ver cómo se puede pulverizar este sitio. Bueno, es un desierto.
I want to help with this. I love working conventions. I could do a lot of good stuff. And, you know, the folks who have been here as long as I have probably remember me just starting to take notes during meetings and a lot more and, like, you know, tracking down action items. And that's why it was
Ellos tienen su hierba. Yo tengo mi hierba.
Pues por eso, pero bueno.
How are you doing that? You're teleporting around. You're like a little Slender Man. I see you, and then I turn around, and you're right behind me. You're a little creature. Mum's the word. Just a little guy. God damn. Pretty nice place to sit. I hope. Granted, I like being in a dark cave. That's kind of my whole vibe. You ever been in a cave, Sparks? A real, honest-to-God cave? You've been in a cave while intoxicated on acid and shrooms. Sparks, that sounds fucking insane, and I hope that was good for you. I imagine so. This isn't just regular darkness. This is advanced darkness. I want to scale it. Object. Why aren't the objects easy to climb? Why did they want us to hurt in this way? Maybe if I... Oh, okay. You get a bunch of animals to a place and you tell them, no, you can't climb on that. Climbing on that, not allowed. Oh, okay, I can get on this one. Yeah, okay. You did it. You're the captain now. Hello, creature. Saw Monica zooming around. Don't know where that one went to though. Did I see what? The signs? You should show me the signs so I can go see them. I saw the don't sign. Yeah, don't. Just don't. Just don't do it. Oh, is there a little one? No climbing. Oh, I see. They don't want me to climb on the objects. They're trying to shut us down. Well, I say I might do it anyway. I'm climbing this little mound here. Look at me. They can't fucking stop me. Climbed it. Oh, what's over there? Oh, it's a viewport of sorts. Sparks, are you a map design snob like I am? Do you hate it when the geology doesn't make sense? Okay. But we can understand each other like this. Like, I don't know if I agree with that. That doesn't seem correct. Just got it clipped into the wall, no fastening or anything, except on like a bunch of other space. So it's like, okay, whatever, rotate the axis as you please. I get it. It's inexpensive. I don't know. She's just a stinky little loin. What am I looking at that it hates so much? I don't even have avatars loaded in this direction. Want to get your brain stabbed by this, I assume, recharging? I don't know what it is meant to be. Actually, I'm looking at it and they're all over. Maybe it's just like radio. It's the Wi-Fi router, you're right. Make sure we have Wi-Fi routers every 20 feet. They need to be huge. 6G. More like 60G, my man. If you're not getting fucking third stage cancer by the end of this year standing under the thing, then it's not doing its job.
I made egg. I'm proud of myself. Good job.
My creatures here are so small.
Put it in like a toast to make a sandwich out of it.
That could work too, but you know, I decided not to. I just made that. It was delicious.
They must be. They sit in the sun all day. Oh, did someone join just then?
A volley joke. Here.
Oh, Sage is in here somehow.
Give me a smooch. Give me a smooch. Give me a smooch. Little beans. You're so eepy.
This Snivy is very eepy. So eepy.
Because I have a metal desk, metal chair, metal bed, all within like a 3-foot proximity of them.
Hello?
And then I have a fan running, so that's why
I
it's
see
interesting all
you
the
at
time.
the at another meet, the creative meet, I think. Or did they?
No, friend, probably not me. Nice
Okay.
Sage.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Loading
anyone's
stuff.
name is because I've had nameplates off for so long because I normally only play with my friends, so like I just don't see people's names.
VR chat on hard mode. It's funny.
Cool.
Nameplates
Right.
actually
It's
reduce your
so
FPS in some
fucking funny.
cases. I don't know why. They somehow do. There's something up with it. No, wait, didn't they fix that a few patches ago?
That's how I am.
Hi.
It's because like when I'm in VR, I like the immersion level of not having the nameplates there.
Optimization. Yeah.
It gets I get confused these days. Like, so I prefer them.
Because I typically play with people that I know who's everyone's avatar and everyone's character is. I don't have a problem.
Why is my... There we go. I was just looking at a gesture. There. Alright, I also made the nose springy on this. It's very silly.
What the hell is Bamboo doing here?
Just...
Why not?
Still has the infinite stretch, and I discovered if you keep pulling on the nose on this avatar, since I put an infinite number in the value on Unity, it eventually just keeps grabbing vertexes on my avatar until until it just becomes a super thin line.
What you got?
Because Unity does not know how to deal with infinite
found that
values.
door.
Yeah, it just keeps going until the avatar
There's a lot
gets
of doors.
cold.
Which one's
And
doors?
it messes up my face really hard.
Oh, he's trying so hard.
Come on, Mom.
How is it? There's no seats. I guess that'd be asking a lot. Oh, someone fell into the desert abyss.
The risk of injury.
That's pretty.
No, and I say that in all seriousness. No, you're right. I'm like, that's actually.
Okay, this is fun. Great, well, there's always.
Yeah, I heard you. Your text bloop is like boom. It's like you had a Vine Boom bass on it. It only does it some of the time, though, curiously. Maybe I need to be looking directly at you when you do it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I got the little submarine beep boops. But even the sound from typing, does it sometimes. Make a new, no thank you. A new sick track by sampling this. You would. I should probably go use the bathroom real quick, because I just woke up and I didn't pee yet, and that's a mistake. I want to towel off, because I don't want to be fucking con stinky just because I want to go to events all the time. Even though I'm at home. Yeah, no. You're funny. Fucking, why did cons gotta fuck up your sleep so bad? I mean, my sleep was already fucked up in fairness.
Oh my god, I'm in. Oh yeah, so if I click the door, can I get back in?
What's that? Okay. That's funny. One time I fell asleep on the pavement after the grad night at Disneyland. You overslept everything? Oh, it's great. I love falling asleep on the Disneyland bus parking lot sidewalk. Yeah, me too. I set a bunch of successive alarms to make sure I'm up and at 'em. I'm thinking ahead about when I can get a nap in. Type too fast. I couldn't read that, you ding-a-ling. You only get one message. You only get one. You get just one. Yeah, Sage, I know how it is. I've had some rough ones. Got someone outside. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go pee-pee. Can't sit on a chair. So sad.
I'm gonna go back into that.
You're all so quiet. You're using your words instead of your meat words. It's a completely isolated area. Compelling. Hey, hello. Oh, hello. Oh. Oh. Gotta circulate the air. Are you surfing on it? I want to surf on it. Hell yeah, surfing. Oh, I'm falling now. The game thinks I'm falling. Where's the small? I can't see their words. Oh, you're out. It shot me out of the map like a cannon. Where the fuck are you, you little weasel? There you are. Yeah, I went off the map geometry and it just like shot me so far out of the map that like it didn't even send me to the kill plane. It sent me right over it and I just started falling forever. Anyway. What did you find? What are you bouncing on? I got shot out of the world cannon stage. I stepped on the exact wrong polygon and it sent me so far away. Oopsie. Oopsie doopsie. Yeah, they really are. They got that chaotic evil. Big steppy. Want a seatbelt belt? It's fair. You got so many funky little things, like... Oh, these are some of the assets like the saddlebag I'm wearing, huh? Let's take a look. Let's take a look at that saddlebag. No, actually, not the tail bag. Anything else? Got like little billfold wallets. A different one altogether, huh? Well... Wonder. Yeah, I don't know. I was outside of the map for a moment, and when I got shot out of there, I mostly just saw this area here. They did say there's Easter eggs in the map, but I wouldn't know what that would mean to them. Yeah, exactly, which means that it kind of falls on, well, I mean, it's not easy to appreciate when you're a new creature to this new world. Sparks, I forgot to mention you can fly. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you have the white avatar, you can fly, Sparks.
Not enough people were able to go to the meetup. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, right. I'm glad that you got in so promptly. I'm glad that you're able to get a slot. It seems like they're pretty on top of it right now. I feel bad for people that don't know they can just show up, you know? I was worried too because they didn't hand it out until the very last day for me before the con. I'm like, oh shit, I'm not gonna get into the... Right, yeah. I'm not gonna get into, you know, that jazz. I'm sure people could still apply for it, honestly. I don't know. They probably want to keep these servers padded out. Yeah, I'll be Wayne. God, I think that avatar's so cute. Are you flashing your headlights at me? Why? Okay, you're like a little security drone. Little rave creature. It is such a cute fucking avatar. I can immediately appreciate why Land gave it to you. Or at least that's how I remember it. Oh, I thought that was just like a... Okay, sure, I'll hold on to it for now. Sure, someone... Actually, Sage, my UI is pretty bugged right now. You're not showing as visible in my friends list. I click buttons and they don't respond. There's a whole lot of jazz going on. I'm clicking favorite avatar and it's not adding it. That's so sad. No. You can be my angle or your devil. You don't. I tried to change my avatar just now and it broke everything, so there's that. I might have to re-log thinking on it. Oh shit, actually, what are the updates? What are the events right now? I don't want to miss mine. Oh shit! Yeah, I need to tune into that. Actually, fuck it. I might just re-log. I might just tune in with like... Oh wait, no. I have to watch on Twitch because I don't have streaming in VR chat. But that's okay. We can still go to that instance. Or if you want to join one, Sparks, I can catch up with you in a moment. You gonna sec? Ollie's outie. Nope, that's not where I wanted to go. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Probably
you.
Probably.
So
I'm gonna be honest.
Well,
you're glossy as fuck for me.
Oh, well, you don't have my avatar too then.
Hold on a second. Let me.
Oh my
I'm talking to you on.
Minecraft Max, bro! Oh my god, the pixels!
I dig it. You're Minecraft mob.
I could.
Yes.
He's a creeper.
Oh, I know. Wait. Oh man.
How'd you know?
Okay. Can I take a picture of yours?
Oh my god, this picture's terrible.
I have been informed I'm not providing enough details. Itty bitty clouds. Hot. Sand. Remember to hydrate. Now the 3-day.
Well, first off, you actually got off VR chat for a bit. You crashed, I'm assuming. You need to crash. No. Oh, well, it took you a bit of time to get here, but you're here now. And it's all you. Think any of this is going to be important for the documentary. I mean, it's Minecraft, it's pretty cool, but...
So much for coming. It's a pleasure to have you all. Thank you if you're tuning in at home or if you're tuning in on stage. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. My name's Atlas, and today I'm going to be taking you through unleashing your Minecraft nostalgia. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can bring your Minecraft worlds and bring them through to VR chat. Now, we've got a ton to cover today, so I'm going to brisk right through it. Now, just a quick little bit about me before we get into this, and, you know, who's this guy on stage and why you should be listening to him? Well, I did game design for a few years. I did it for my degree, so I have a little bit of familiarity with what I'm doing. I joined the Furality team as a project manager just recently, as well, just for Umbra, so this has been also a fantastic experience just to be here with everyone. This is actually my first presentation in front of a live audience, so if this is a little bit sketchy at times, do bear with me. A little bit nervous, but we'll do as best as I can. Other than that, thank you very much for coming. Now, what the main things we're going to be covering today are taking your Minecraft Java Edition world and putting it into a 3D model. We're then going to be taking that 3D model and setting it up in Unity. We're then going to be preparing it in Unity in VR chat, so getting ready for upload, lighting, interactions, colliders, things like that. And then we'll just be covering some other nice little topics about world optimization, maybe a little bit of mentioning of 3D printing if we have some time there as well. So, other than that, let's get to it. So, there's just a couple of things I just want to mention before we begin. Minecraft is a paid game, so I don't want people taking worlds that they don't necessarily own and putting them through. This is a form of, you know, technically repurposing what you might own, so do make sure you own a copy of Minecraft before doing this, just to make sure we're not distributing assets that we don't necessarily have the rights to use for. Remember, this is all for personal use, so also keep it in mind there. This is not to be monetized or used in any of your other games or anything like that. Otherwise, let's go ahead. So, the main software we're going to need is a fantastic piece of equipment called Minecraft, you know, the thing we're actually doing today. Other than that, the Unity game engine as well, of course. That's what we use for VR chat. So the current version for that is 2022.3.22. Just recently updated that. And then the key tool, the one that really makes this all happen, is a fantastic tool called Mineways. I'll go into a little bit more information about that later. Other than that, just a basic understanding of Unity and Minecraft goes a really, really long way. So if you have some experience with that already, this panel should be pretty nice for you. And other than that, of course, a PC computer really helps a ton as well. So make sure you have one of those, of course, otherwise I'm sure you wouldn't be looking at me right now. Other than that then, let's go through what Mindways is. So, Mindways is a free open source program that allows users to export their Minecraft worlds into all sorts of different 3D formats, including, you know, object files, VRML files, STL files for 3D printing. And this allows you to take your creations and use them in 3D applications for rendering, 3D printing, and game development. Now, you can export in all sorts of different ways for your needs. You can choose what locations you want to export in your world. You don't have to export the entire thing. That could be huge. You know, Minecraft worlds can be up to 300 million blocks long sometimes. That's a lot of work that we won't be doing today. So do keep that in mind. Other than that, it's really easy to use. There's fantastic documentation. And if you're a first timer, no need to be worried. You don't have to be familiar with this software. Now, you can find Mindways for free online. I'll provide a link for this in the Discord as well for those of you tuning in, but you can find it on realtimerendering.com. It's a fantastic URL, by the way, and you can go to the download page and choose if you want to do it for Windows or Mac. So it'll all be there for you. Mac, we won't be covering that today. We'll be doing everything on PC since, of course, it's the majority, but it is there for an option as well. I'm sure it's pretty similar. Now, to export your world in Mindways, there's a few things we're going to have to do first. Now, firstly, let's find where that Mindways Minecraft world is. To begin, we need to find where that world is in our Minecraft directory. Now, this is pretty easy. There's a couple of ways you can do this. If you already have it saved on your desktop somewhere or in a location you're familiar with, go find it. That's where you need it, basically. Other than that, the shortcut is to just go into your computer. You can use the Windows and R key to shortcut to this and find your app data folder. This is where Minecraft saves all of its information. So in there, there'll be a folder called saves, which is actually what your worlds are. Have a look in there, and then they'll be named after the name of your worlds. So that's where you'll be looking. Now, installing Mindways is pretty easy. You just download the zip executable, and inside of there, there'll be an exe or a batch file that you can just run, and the program will load right up. So you'll need some sort of compressed zip sort of extractor, so you can use 7-zip or WinRAR. So, you know, WinRAR fans rise up at home. I know everyone will hate me for saying that, but I'm standing on that hill. Now, once you have that, you just extract it in a place. I recommend extracting it to your desktop. Just keep it somewhere safe. Once we're done with the world, you might not need this tool again, but it's always helpful to have on hand in case we need to re-export later for any mistakes we might make. On top of the window that opens up when we run that exe, we'll get this lovely little user interface that we can see things. Now, you won't see anything at first. We haven't told it where your world is, so go to the top corner of the window, click the Open World tab, and then you can find your world in there. Now, I would make sure you make a copy of your world before working on this, just in case you break anything. So when you find that world file, just Control, paste it in place, save the old one as a backup or original or something like that. And that way, if you break anything, you can always run back. No harm done. We don't want to be breaking your memories now. That's very, very important. Now, do not panic if you cannot see your house when you load up the world. Of course, Minecraft worlds can be massive, and when you load up the world, it's only going to center in at coordinate 000, exactly where you spawned. Now, you know, how many times have you all been in a Minecraft world and you've had to walk for thousands of blocks to find the land that's just right for you? Well, of course, that means you're going to be thousands of blocks away sometimes, and we have to find you. So, there is an easy way to find this, and it's just using the coordinates. There is also an easy-to-use version. If you want to locate yourself, you can actually go onto the tab and click on the view button, and you can teleport to a player location, and that can also help speed it up if you're actually already currently standing where you saved in that world as well. Now, a really easy way to find your coordinates is to go and look at them. You know, load up Minecraft, go and stand where your home is, where you want, or at least where you want to export. And if you press the F3 key, you'll actually get a debug menu, which shows you tons of information. Do not worry, you do not need all of it. There's just this one line here, which is the XYZ line, as I've got highlighted on the slides, and that's the coordinates you want. The key ones are the X and Y coordinates, and the Z coordinates, of course, as well, just for height. So just make sure to keep those written down somewhere so you don't lose them. These will be very important. Now, once we've got these coordinates, we need to actually select the area that we want to export. Now, there's a few things to keep in mind before we do this. The larger the range of the world, in terms of how many blocks we're actually exporting, the more work there is to do. So how much you want to export is really dependent on what you're capable of exporting as well, and that goes both ways. What you're capable of exporting is how much you can, essentially, minus some performance concerns to be worried about there, which also very much plays into the world size. Make sure to select depth very carefully. Now, Minecraft worlds are not just 2 dimensions, there's also some depth to it, and they can go pretty damn deep. They've done an update, we got the Deep Dark now, so there's a good 200-300 blocks worth of depth that we could be worrying about there. So do be cautious, make sure not to export too much if you don't need it, only export what you need to. A really good way to measure this is to go into your world, find the lowest point where you think you might be exporting, use the F3 menu to find your coordinates, and write down the Y coordinate, which is your height coordinate there. Just make sure to add 1 or 2 though, just so you can make sure you're including the floor blocks you're standing on as well. Now, you can click and drag on the map just using your mouse, just to pan around on the UI. This way you can move yourself around to go and eventually find those coordinates you were looking for originally. Now, if you remember your coordinates from written down earlier, you can just sit there and look at the UI at the bottom and actually scroll through to find where your coordinates are actually tracking, so you can drag up in the X positive or negative and vice versa. But another really important tip is actually that the chunks you see are only ones that have been loaded in your world. You will not be able to see anything you haven't explored. So if you end up in a place where there's just tons of checkerboard everywhere, you're not in the right place, you've never loaded that chunk before. So either check that you're not missing a minus or a positive coordinate, or more importantly, check you're in the right world. It'd be a terrible shame if you weren't in the right world all along. So make sure you double check that. Now, we need to select the area we want to export. So for this, we're just going to hold the right click and we're just going to highlight a square, just like you're highlighting folders basically. Just select the area that you want to highlight and you should be able to see a rough block out of what your home looks like from a top-down view. A little bit like if you were using a Minecraft map. Now, try to minimize how much space you're selecting here. It's really, really important that you're not selecting tons of extra space that we're not going to actually be doing anything with. Of course, a little bit is nice to make sure you've actually got some world to explore, but if you're exporting, for example, an entire village, really make sure you clamp that down because that can be quite a lot of work later that you might not need. Now, we need to also select the height and the depth. We've done the X and Y, sorry, the X and Z, but we now need the Y for the height. Now, height isn't too important. There's very few cases where you wouldn't need to really be clamping the height, but it is something to keep in mind. But depth is the more important one. So as mentioned earlier, there can be thousands of blocks below you that we do not need to export. So do make sure that you set that depth as close to where you need to be as possible. Again, you'll save yourself tons of time, and more importantly, you won't have to optimize the world as hard if you've got so much less to optimize. So you can just use the slider at the top of the screen. This is where you adjust the height and the depth as well, and then therefore we'll be ready to go. Now, before we export, just a couple of things we need to do. You need to go to the File Export button at the top corner of the screen, scroll down to Export for Rendering. This is what we'll be doing. I know we're doing this for games, but rendering is going to give us the actual model file that we need. You could use this for Blender, of course, if you wanted to, but for rendering is what we're going to be using when we get this ready for Unity for VR Chat. Now, in there, you want to make sure you export the file as a .obj. That's the file format I like to use for this, and I think it'll be best for our case. And then just make sure you save that somewhere where you're not going to lose it. You'll have to choose a file directory somewhere. If you're already working in a Unity project, great, you can save it straight there. If you haven't made one yet, we're going to cover that in a moment, so just save it on your desktop for now. Now, there are a few export settings to configure before we can go through with this. The first ones are, you need to make sure you check the Export All Textures to 3 Large Images. This actually creates a texture atlas for us. If you do not know what that is, do not worry. It's just a really nice way of laying out multiple different textures into one image, which can help save us tons of memory as well, which is super neat for Minecraft when there's so many block textures to cover. The next one is to split block by type. This will actually split all the blocks into groups so that we can actually address each different block type in Minecraft in Unity later on. More about why that's important later. Material per family is for the same reason. This is so that we can actually texture the blocks differently. We don't want to make everything look like grass or wood or anything like that. Other than that, there's the check double all billboard bases. This means that things like grass and plants will render on both sides because they're actually planes, and planes normally only render on one side. So just make sure they're double-sided, and that way you don't have any one-way grass or anything like that. Other than that, once you're ready, you're just going to click OK, and we're going to export. Just an important note, make sure you don't modify any other settings. Some things can really give you some different results. Okay, so now that we've clicked on that, you should have this lovely prompt showing you what all these statistics are that you've exported. Do take a look at this, because of course polygons are a really important thing for measuring how our world runs. If we've got millions and millions of polygons to run, oh boy, we're going to have a real time trying to get this world running. So do have a look at this and have a measure. The tries is what it might refer to them as. Tries for triangles being polygons. Now, try to keep this under 1 million if you can. Of course, the size of your world matters, and if it is too high, go back and check the size of what you're exporting again. If this is your first time, stick with something really small. It's just a learning process the first time round. If you get something that works really well, great, you can try something bigger next time. That's what I did, and that's the way I learned. So, it's time to prepare for the Unity import. This is the fun part. I bet lots of you love Unity at home if you've had trouble working on your avatars before, but do not worry, I'll be here to run you through it. So, if you haven't already, make sure you've got the correct version of Unity installed. If you already work on your avatars, you should have the right version already. If you have the VR Chat Creator Companion as well, then I'm sure you'll be familiar with what you're doing, but I'm going to cover it very briefly. You just need to go into there and click Create New Project. Select the World 2022 SDK option. That will give us the most up-to-date version of what we have now. And then just make sure you give it a name and a location to save it somewhere possible. Now, make sure you keep it somewhere that's going to be pretty fast. If you've got an old dying hard drive, Unity's not going to be happy if you do that. So if you've got a solid state drive, nice fast hard drive, that'll be pretty nice for really saving you some time there. Trust me, you'll save yourself hours in the long run. Now, Unity will do its loading. It'll take some time. It's got a lot of things to process, so really important that you go and get a drink and take care of yourself, because once that's all done, it's time to get onto the real hard part. And I say hard part, it's not that scary, but it can be a little bit overwhelming, so try and follow me here. Now, it's time to import the model that we have created. Mindways has done all the work for us now. If you've got that running in the background still, you can close it. We're done for that for now. Good to have it on standby though, in case you're worried about breaking anything. You just want to create yourself a folder in the Unity directory. That way we can have somewhere to save all of our files. Organization is really important. You don't want to be wasting hours of your time finding things. But make sure you keep things split, separated, keep them all in the right place, and that way it'll be nice and easy for you to work on. I just create my folder and call it materials or worlds or objects or anything like that. Whatever works best for your memory, that's the right answer. Now, you want to import your world into the scene. A really easy way to do this is just to quite literally take the little preview in the file browser in Unity of the world and just drag and drop it into the viewport. That's all you really need to do. It should just appear in the screen. Now, when you drag it in this way, it won't always default to the center of the Unity world. The coordinates might be a little bit off. So if you hold for the default Unity layout in the top right corner, you'll have the transform component, which is the position of where the object is. Just make sure to put 0, 0, 0 for everything there, and that way we're all working in the nice center of the world. That'll make things easier later. Once you've done that, you just want to right-click on the inspector side of the screen, the hierarchy side of the screen, and make sure you right-click on that and unpack that prefab. That way when we make changes to it later, Unity won't try and get angry at us. Now, this step is optional, it is not required, but it can be very, very helpful, so I thought I'd put it in there. You want to set your world to be about 0.5 of a coordinate off, just because when we're referring to the coordinates, you can actually place blocks around yourself. If you want to actually go and add some things in later, it's really helpful to be able to go and put things lined up with everything. This way, if you set grid snapping to 1, and you have everything offset by 0.5, every single meter is in the center of where a block would be, meaning that when you just drag your gizmo around to move objects around, they'll snap to as if you were placing blocks in Minecraft, basically. It's super neat, it's super helpful, especially if you're adding in custom objects later. Now, here's my world. Not very textured right now, is it, right? So that's what we're going to do. The blocks are grouped by type, so all the grass blocks are one object, all the torches, all the wood, every wood type, they're all separated per object. So you know when you're working on a world, you can click on the objects individually. The same goes for the block type as well. Now, this means that all the materials are linked for those as well, so we can set them all up in one go, and I've got a really nice easy way of making this a lot quicker. So don't worry, you're not going to be dragging on 200 objects today. We've saved you that. Now, another thing is entities are not exported with this tool. Entities are not blocks, so they don't get exported through the data. With this, some things will be missing. This includes things like animals, obviously, but this can also go down to things like conduits or even signs, the sign text. The signs themselves will export, but the text will be missing. But do not worry, I've got something for you about that later. Now, to create the materials, I'd recommend making a new folder. Again, I named my materials, but whatever works best for your memory is what's key here. You just want to right-click in that file browser, make yourself a folder, and make yourself right at home. This is where we're going to be putting all of our material stuff for the world, just to keep it in the right place. Now, we're going to right-click in an empty space in that file browser again, inside that new folder we just created, and we're going to name it Opaque Block. This is because we're going to make a block that cannot be seen through. I'll be a little bit more detailed about that later on, about why we're doing it this way. In that, you want to drag in the world RGBA texture file that was exported along with all of your model from earlier as well. You should have 3 texture images because we set the 3 image texture atlases from earlier, as mentioned in the export settings. Then you want to set the rendering mode to cutout in the drop-down in the inspector, and then you want to set the smoothness to 0, and if you want, you can also disable specular highlights and reflections because default Minecraft doesn't have that. Now, you could really drag every single material onto every single block, and that would take you a good amount of time, especially if you've got a big world. But a little shortcut is actually to go into the hierarchy, expand and drop down all the child objects inside your world object, highlight everything just inside, don't highlight the world object itself, not the parent. And then in there, if you go to the inspector, you'll actually see the mesh renderer component. You can just drop down the material slot in there, and there'll be a little box where you can drag something in. Drag that material in there, and bang! Every single object in your world has materials all in one go. Handy little tip, might be useful elsewhere as well. So yes, as I mentioned earlier, a quick note, signs will not export text. Sometimes signs can have some really important things on them. Now, I do have a workaround for you. At the end of this panel on the Discord, I'm going to provide you with a little prefab. It's basically just a Minecraft font UI panel that you can drag over and have your individual lines there to write whatever you want. So you'll have to remember what you typed, but if you still got access to the Minecraft world, that'll help you a ton as well. It's not automated, but it's at least a solution. Now, given everything textures, but it looks awful. Everything really does look like that original Roblox look, which is not what we're here for, of course. We're going to do better than that. So, this is a really easy fix. There's just a couple of things we need to tweak. You first need to tell Unity not to compress and filter our textures. We're working with pixel art textures here, so if we try to compress them and filter them, we're going to end up with that horrible blurring you just saw, which makes things look terrible. It's not the Minecraft style, so that's not what we want. So an easy fix is just to go into the world RGBA texture images, and then change the filter to point no filter, and enable alpha as transparency whilst you're here as well. That will help us out later on. Now, if you'll have a look, everything should look pretty good. So, we've got color on everything, but we don't have any light. Light is very important. Of course, every world we go to has some form of light usually. How else can we see? So, there's a few things we need to do here to make sure we have lights. There are 2 things. We've got the actual sunlight from the sun, the light that illuminates everything, unless you're doing a nighttime environment, of course, or the blocks that emit light themselves. So your lanterns, torches, conduits, chests, anything like that, you need to make sure these have light sources so that we can really mimic that effect. So setting up the light material is pretty easy because we've already done most of the work. You just need to go to that material we created earlier, called the opaque block, and we're just going to duplicate it. That's all we're going to do. And then we're just going to make one final change on top of that. Once you have the opaque block and you've duplicated it, just make sure to rename it to light block so you don't get confused with that later on. And then you're going to go down further into that materials inspector, and you're going to enable emission, and you're just going to drag in the same albedo color texture into that emission slot, and then leave everything as it is. Now, as you can see in the screenshots here, everything looks lit. The lights look a little bit more natural. If you actually go into Minecraft, you'll notice that torches are lit all the way. They don't have any shading because they are the things creating light. But you can also go one step further with this and add it to lanterns, torches, campfires, nether portal blocks. You can go further than default Minecraft if you really want to. Now, just because it has an emissive texture doesn't mean it's making any light. placing lights takes a really long time, and this is why it's really important that you think about how many lights are in your world and why you think about the world size when exporting. This world here has 120 light sources, and yes, I did have to place every single one of these manually. It does take a long time, so we've got a lot of work ahead of us, but don't worry, we're still going to make it as easy as possible. I would position every single light just above or under the light source itself. This just avoids any sort of shadows that might have been casted from the objects themselves, and we do want them to still be able to cast shadows. You could turn it off as a workaround, but generally, just make sure you keep the light source outside of the object. I would then put these lights sparingly around the place to make sure that you actually light up the entire world. I wouldn't skip out on any lights that are in interior environments, because that's going to give us the best results. But if there are lights outside in sunlight, they don't actually need to be lit, because they'll be at max brightness anyway. Then you can just leave those ones. Other than that, the settings I use is all here on the screen. It's just range at 6.5. I've got a hex code here for the sort of warmish orange color, but of course you can use any color you like. Intensity to about 1.4, that's just my personal preference. And then hard shadows, because soft shadows don't look very good in Minecraft personally, in my opinion. Now, I would make sure you set these settings on your first place light. That way when we duplicate this light later on, you don't have to set this every single time. It will save you tons of time. Now, quick notes. Minecraft, of course, has its own very unique shading style, and by unique, it's very basic. Unity is not designed to shade the way that Minecraft is. It's just a whole different ballgame. It's a much older game. Things have changed since then. Now, we could try our best to try and copy Minecraft, but promise you, it's going to be harder to make it look like Minecraft than it is just to look amazing. So we might as well just go for the slightly more modern approach, I would say. If some of you use shaders on Minecraft, I know myself, I can't even play without them anymore. Or if any of you have played the RTX Minecraft beta from NVIDIA, this is kind of more towards the sort of direction we'll be moving towards in terms of visual look. But of course, this is your world, and you can light it however you like. Now, we're getting close. Water. The water is going to look quite solid right now. Of course, if you go into Minecraft, you will be able to see through it. So we need to fix that very quickly as well. And this will also apply to things like glass later on as well. Now, to do this, we're just going to go back to our opaque block material, and we're just going to duplicate that as well. Make sure to name that transparent blocks. Now, once you've got that new material, click on that one, go to the inspector, and just make sure you set the rendering mode to that one to fade. This way we'll get that transparency that we need. And then go into the color albedo slot, the big colored bar. Click on that, and you'll get this little color wheel that appears. Just go to the bottom, and you'll have 4 side-scrolling bars that you can have, which is the RGB values, and then the alpha. Just drag the alpha slot down a little bit, and that way you can control the transparency. I use 200, but you can use whatever you like. Now, this is the big one, baking lighting. Now, there's just a final few tweaks we need to make before we can actually bake the light. We need to position the directional light in a way that gives us shadows that we like. So when you make a scene by default, the directional light will be there. You don't normally have to create this, but if it is missing, just check you didn't delete it. You just want to click on that and use the rotation gizmo just to try and get the shadows at an angle you like. So do something that looks dramatic. You can even go for a sunset if you like. I would leave all the settings at default. You could set the shadows to hard. That's what I did, just again to get that better effect. But soft is perfectly fine. And then when you do that, go to the top of the inspector and make sure to click on static. This way it will actually be baked into the lighting. If your lights are not marked as static, they aren't going to get baked, and we don't want 120 real-time lights running in your world. VR chat will not be very happy with us. So make sure you go to all of your lights and set them as static as well. A little tip, if you are obviously watching this before you go and do this, put all of your light objects in one parent game object, and you can have them all in one go there. That way you can just click the parent object, click marker static, and it will literally ask you if it wants to make all the child objects static as well, doing it all for you in one go. Now, light baking is basically an art form in itself. There is no chance we're going to get through that today. I don't even think one panel would be long enough. There's just so much to cover. Now, there are fantastic videos online. That's where I got most of my experience with lighting from, outside of my Unity experience at university. So do use YouTube. It is perfectly okay to use those sources. There's tons of great resources out there. Of course, if you know a friend that does this stuff, go to them as well. I'm sure they'll have some great information. Now, baking light isn't as easy as just clicking the bake lighting and letting it rip. There are a few settings we are going to need to tweak just to at least try and give you something easy to work from. This should be a fairly bomb-proof, good enough solution for a lot of you, but of course if your world is just that massive, you will have to tweak things, but I would hope that if you're working on a world that big, you would know what you're doing by that point. So, these are the settings that I have here. The key ones are to play with is the light map resolution. You want to try and keep that as low as possible before things look truly terrible. Start small, work up and up and up and up until you get that really good quality that you like. Because light maps can be quite big on texture memory, and that ultimately means that the world is laggier, and you need to download more files to do it. So do try and keep this as small as you can. Okay, so once you've got your settings dialed in, you just want to hit this generate lighting button. A little tip, make sure you go to the light mapper and tell it to use your GPU. If you have one to bake, it's going to be so much faster than your CPU. The CPU could take days to bake, the GPU will only take a couple of minutes at tops. Obviously depending on your hardware, but that GPU is going to be faster if you have one. If you play VR chat, I would hope you have one. And there we are. We have light. And here we can see the differences now of where the light comes in. So just to highlight a few differences, we've got the sunlight coming in through the window. We've got the actual campfire where I put an orange point light in there to have some more warmth coming from it. We can see the shadows coming from the lanterns. And we can just see the sort of darkness that comes around the edges of the room as well, just to really add that sort of mood to the entire thing. It really does transform the world entirely, and lighting is very, very powerful. So the more you can learn about it, the more amazing stuff you can do. And of course, that doesn't just apply to Minecraft worlds, it applies to so much more. Now, there are some ways to improve lighting. Ambient occlusion is one of them. This is a thing that adds natural darkness to the edges of corners, basically. So if you go into the Unity Light Mapper, there is an ambient occlusion option there, and you can try playing with those settings between bakes to also see how that turns out. Now, there is a post-processing version of this, but this is not very good for VR chat. I don't even think it's supported that well currently. Could be wrong on that, but from my experience of using ambient occlusion with post-processing, you end up with some weird, horrible camera artifacts, so just avoid that one. Make sure you bake it. It's more performant that way anyway. You just have to take a bit more time baking the lighting. Light probes are really important. They will be in tons of worlds that you've been in before. Now, of course, we can only bake objects that don't move, so the important thing for calculating objects that do move is to give them some sort of light information to try and base themselves off of. So if you have a player walking through into your house, there's going to be a lot more orange light compared to the more white light outside. We need to adjust that, otherwise people are going to look a bit out of place. So try learning about what light probes are. Again, not something we can cover here, and there are some free tools that actually help you get those done a lot quicker, and there are some paid ones that are even better, so I won't be covering that, but have a look at those. That will help you with that as well. And then some other ones are reflection probes. Those just tell areas of the world how to actually reflect objects based on a reference. Fog. Minecraft has fog. Why not add it into Unity? The default light mapper fog basically costs nothing, so you might as well use it. It's all there, and you can really get some nice moody effects with that as well. And then you could also play with different shaders, try different materials, see what does what. There's tons of free resources and assets out there, so try everything. Get everything you can get your hands on. Now, we've got all the lighting. Everything looks pretty neat. We just need to add some colliders so that when I spawn in, I don't clip through the floor. We need to be able to walk around, of course. Now, there is a pretty quick way we can get through this, and it's just using mesh colliders. Now, this is not best practice. Mesh colliders are not the best way of adding colliders to everything, but it is sure quicker, and that's the way we're going to do it. So, the fastest way to add colliders to everything is to go into your inspector, select every physical object inside of that world object again, go to the inspector, click add component, and just add a mesh collider. I know there will be tons of Unity people online saying, that's terrible, don't do that, but I'm just trying to do this quickly for people that want to have fun, so this is a really easy way to do it. Other than that, the doors. Now, the doors are not actually able to be separated one at a time. They are all, again, like all the other blocks, linked together, including double doors. So the way to work around this is to delete all of them. Get rid of all the doors. Go clicking away. Get destroying. Have a bit of fun. Take the stress out a little bit from how far you've made it. Delete all the doors, and then even better, I've created you a prefab. So this is a Udon compatible door. that is network synced. That way when you drag this door into your world, you can use VR chat to open and close it. Other people will see it too. It'll all be synced, all ready to go. Just drag and drop at your convenience. And I'll drop that in the Discord as well so that you guys have access to that. And again, if you have snapping enabled from earlier, it'll be even easier to place this because it will snap exactly where it should be. Alright, this is it. All of your efforts have led us to this moment. It is time to upload to VR chat when it lets you. Now, with this, you just got to log into your VR chat account. Just a quick note, you must have a VR chat account to do this. You can't just use Steam, and you must be at least a new user, which is pretty easy. Spend 10 hours in the game, you'll get it in no time. You just want to set yourself the name of the world and a profile icon for the world as well. That way you can actually see what it looks like, and it gives people an idea of what they might be joining. So do have a look at that. It's really important to set that to something that's representative so that people know what they might be getting into. Here then, you just want to set the rest of the details, agree to the privacy policy, of course, if you agree to it, and then click upload. There'll be the build and upload option at the bottom. Now, you may have gone into the world and noticed that things are quite laggy. Things aren't running quite as well as they should be. Now, of course, there's some optimization we might need to do here just to make sure this runs as best as possible. There are some really helpful tools like occlusion culling. This is a thing that can hide objects that aren't in view. But this doesn't tend to be as effective for these Minecraft worlds just because of the way objects are linked together. So some other options is to use a fantastic tool called VR World Toolkit. It has tons of debugging information specifically for VR worlds. Fantastic for VR chat. I use it all the time. It can even get post-processing set up for you at the click of a button, which saves you tons of time. Especially when I keep forgetting how to do it properly every single time. I thought I'd learn by now. Other than that, you can also combine some meshes together to try and save you some performance there. Again, this can be pretty destructive, so only do this if you know what you're doing. But it is an idea. I thought I'd give it a shout. And then other than that, make sure all of your lights are baked. Make sure all of them are marked to static, and when you go to the inspector, make sure you drop down that mode into baked, not mixed or real-time. Real-time lights are very expensive to do, so we want to avoid that if we can. So go and have a double check at everything. We don't want to be casting some really horrible shadows. Now, you can make some more objects interactable. Of course, you could add music to the world. You could add the toggleable doors from earlier. You could add buttons that actually press things. There's so much more you can do. You could even animate particles for your furnaces. There's so many things I wanted to create for this panel that I simply didn't have time to, but it just gives you something to work on. So particle systems are also a ton of fun, so I recommend giving those a look. And I just had some other fun ideas I thought I'd shout out. These were just some things that I did want to do before this panel. You could do a working nether or end portal. You can export those dimensions on Mindways. They will let you. There's just a view drop down in that tool. You could do an animated fire or campfire. Also really helpful. You could do a day-night cycle or animate the water textures. Use buttons instead of UI panels. Make it purely look like Minecraft. Or you could go crazy with the lighting and do some really crazy stuff. You can maybe have some pickups like a sword or a pickaxe. And you can even make maybe openable chests, you know, objects you could actually play with. Now, using texture packs is possible, so I'll quickly cover it. There are some default included ones on Mindways that will actually do it for you out of the box, but there's also some guides on how to use your own as well. Yes, you texture pack lovers at home, they have thought about you, they're all there. There's some great documentation I'll let you have a look through online. You can even go to higher resolution texture packs, like those full HD texture packs that just look crazy, so they're also available for you. And then as mentioned earlier, post-processing is there. You can help just tune the lighting of the world and the actual visual effect a little bit more, so have a look into that. Great tutorials about that online as well. And then just play with Unity's light mapper to really try and get the best fidelity that you can. And other than that, environmental effects, like I said earlier, fog and weather, can really just help bring a bit more of Minecraft into Unity. That really helps sell the whole effect. Now, yes, you can bring Quest into this. Of course, Quest can be a little bit of work, but actually Minecraft worlds are pretty lenient as long as you keep them to the right sizes. The texture memory is pretty low, the world download size is pretty low, so it's just the polygon count you've really got to worry about a lot of the time. So again, as long as your world's small enough, it's pretty easy to copy most of this over. Make sure to keep your objects marked to static though, make sure everything's optimized, and again, tons of tutorials online about optimizing for Quest as well. That's a whole different ball game, so I'm not going to be able to cover that today. Just a couple of shout outs to some other really helpful tools. Bakery is a much faster Unity light mapper, and it's generally just going to produce better results for you. It is a paid tool, so do keep an eye on it, but it is fantastic. So if you're getting into world building, have a look at Bakery. That's really the place to be. Other than that, there's also the Magic Light Probes tool. This is one of the paid tools that does light probes for you automatically. Again, have a research online about light probes. They're fantastic. But other than that, there's millions of videos online, and there's great documentation. So that's also there to help you out if you get stuck. And other than that, wow, I'm out of breath. There's so much to be covered. I couldn't cover it all today, but thank you so much for coming. Thank you to everyone in the audience that came to watch today. I'm now going to answer all the questions the best I can, so if I could invite Demi on stage to help me out here. And we're going to try and answer any of the questions you have in Discord.
Yep, and there's actually one very common question. By the way, for those who would like to answer any questions, go to the Bring Your Minecraft World of VR Chat Q&A channel in our Furality Discord. I can post some questions there for Atlas to respond to. One common question that was asked a lot by Rooks of the Thief, Riley, and Madness of Men is about modded versions of Minecraft, if Mineways would work with modded versions.
I'm so sorry, it's not mod compatible. I think there was some mentions on forums, but it's just, there's so many mods out there, I'm not sure if it'll ever exist, to be, I'm afraid. You could try custom modeling some of your own things at home, maybe, to try and fill in the gaps, but if you've got some pretty serious mod packs, that might be a little bit more of a do-it-yourself thing, I'm afraid. I'm really sorry it's not there.
That is okay. Let's see. I believe there was a point on shader packs and texture packs. How might those work? They're asking about that again. Maybe you could repeat that again? I'm so sorry.
So yes, I did have to brisk over this. I haven't played with this too much myself, but I have seen that you can have texture packs on Mineways to actually export the different texture image formats for you. The way that image textures are exported from Mineways is important for making it really easy, but there is also a whole documentation page about setting up your own texture packs. So if you have a look on the Mineways website, again, realtimerendering.com, go through the help and Q&A section, there'll be a thing about texture packs in there. I think it'll do a better job than I could explain here, but that's going to be the best resource for you.
Yeah, that sounds good. Reverse Fall asks any input on culling occlusion.
So yes, I had a very brief mention of this. I'll try and give a better explanation now. So when you're trying to use a culling, if you are not looking at an object, it's supposed to disappear in your view. Now, part of the problem with the way we've exported this world is that we've linked all the blocks together. So if you're looking at one torch over there, another torch that's on the complete opposite side of the map is still going to be rendered because you're still looking at the object at some point, because it's all technically one massive object. This breaks a lot of the culling, so unfortunately it doesn't all work. So a lot of the time poly count is really going to be the best way of getting your world in the right ballpark. You could try and split up blocks to try and break it apart, or maybe break the world into chunks to try and break things up. I haven't played with that myself, but it's definitely a thing you could do, but there's a few more technical things you need to be aware of if you're doing that.
Alright, this is a question also mentioned a couple times by Red and Kaizo Airi. Which version of Minecraft works with Mineways? So which version might be compatible with that tool?
So Mineways updates all the time. I use the most recent version of Minecraft, 120.6. All works perfectly fine. So they're updating it. I'm pretty sure you can use whatever you like. Obviously, if a new update comes out, I think 1.21 is coming out just around the corner soon. You might have to wait a few days, but generally, you can still use old versions. It's just the blocks that aren't there won't be exported. So as long as you're not using tons of new blocks all of a sudden, you'll still get away with most things anyway. Hope that helps.
Awesome. Soft Diamond asks, is there a tool for entities, or will we have to model those in ourselves?
It's a fun thing you could work on for sure, but yes, entities are not included. You'll have to probably try and animate those yourself, but if you do figure it out, definitely drop me a message. I'd love to see those. That'd be a really fun project.
Awesome. I also will mention to the people asking about where these slides or the video will be available, the VOD of this presentation will be uploaded after the convention. Thank you so much.
All good.
Another question that someone asked was, let me find it quick because it's scrolled by a little too quick. We're getting a lot of questions. Thank you all so much. I believe it was someone asking about a void world and how importing that would work. Once I can find the exact question, but a void world.
Gonna need a little bit more information on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be unsure what a void world is too. You might have to be a bit more specific.
I'll take a guess.
I see you, Principal.
I can take a look.
Suki.
Is a void world just a world without like a floor, so something like the end where there's no ground around it, or is void like a mod or something that I'm not familiar with? Apologies if that's not clear, but if that question pops back up, we can loop back around to it.
Let's assume for the purpose of the question, let's have it for like worlds like the Nether and the End. In that case,
so the Nether, of course, this is where the height is important because the Nether is covered on all four sides of the building, or for the world, sorry. So height is really important when exporting the Nether, and as a result, you end up exporting tons of blocks. So the Nether is really, really bad if you're going to include it in a Nether portal, unless you keep it really short and sweet. So if you're going to go for another world, just export it as is, or you might be able to work out some tricks to try and optimize it there. The end is really easy, it's just a load of floating islands. You'll have to get yourself a skybox to mimic the effect a bit more. You might be able to, make something up from the actual Minecraft files, which you can still access pretty easily, but I haven't got anything for you there. So try making skyboxes, they're pretty easy. It's basically just 6 images to the side, that's how Minecraft does it. So have a look at skyboxes online and it should hopefully get you that effect.
Awesome, and Prince Wabasuke clarifies, I got a void world that has no ground. Will it work with no ground? So a world that has like a floating airship and nothing else around it. Like, I remember someone mentioned about Skyblock as well. That might lead into this sort of question.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yeah, of course you can. You don't have to have a floor. The very key thing there is just to make sure that you move the VRC world component. It's an object that gets created for you automatically, usually, when you use the SDK pre-set up project. Just basically, that's where the player will also spawn if you put it on the VRC world object. So just make sure you drag that actually on the Skyblock, otherwise they'll be having the worst game of Skyblock in their life. And again, this applies to other things as well. So just drag it on, add the colliders as usually are, everything else is the same.
Yeah. I'm going to also address another question that people were asking about the prefabs, where they might be posted. We're going to make sure that they are put into the Q&A channel. If they lose access to that channel, where else may you post it?
That's a good question. I'm working on a website, but it's not done just yet. You're more than welcome to message me on Discord. I get tons of DMs a day, so it's no burden really. So if you're curious on having them, give me a message and I'll maybe stick up a better source at the time, or I'll probably comment a link on the VOD when that goes up for furality as well. Maybe you'll be able to find it there. So if you're watching on the VOD, have a check in the comments or description and I'll see if I can get a link in there to a Google Drive for you.
Yeah, sounds good. Willow Yanagi asks a good question. What about Redstone?
So, Redstone will export in terms of its appearance, but nothing physical about Redstone will work. I don't really want to be trying to get working computers exported in worlds into Minecraft. I mean, I'm barely holding my frame rate as it is, so I don't want to get any redstone contraptions running on. But you can export the physical look of them, so if you just want your redstone signals and your pistons around, they will be there, they just won't do anything, I'm afraid.
Alright, awesome. I'm going to try to find more question for you. Apologies for the moment. While I'm searching more questions, I would love to, I actually personally would love to ask like what your background with like Minecraft as a whole is, if that is okay to ask.
Oh, Minecraft, I'm going to monologue. I'm going to give everyone that really boring long story that goes on for 3 hours. Minecraft means a ton to me. I played it since the beta. I was there playing it very much like that traditional thing, sitting on your laptop at 3 AM with the crickets ringing outside the window. You know, it's boiling hot, you've got a fan on you, and I'm just sitting there just playing this game that I was addicted to. Came out on Xbox 360, all of my friends are playing it, and we did this amazing thing where every single year we would build a world, and I would call it World 2011, 2012, 2013. I still have all of those worlds on an Xbox 360 hard drive, getting ready to export them onto PC because I want to be able to put them in here. And it was amazing seeing how all those worlds got better after what is eventually now 15 years. It's crazy. God, I'm getting old.
No worries. I grew up on Minecraft too, so I'm feeling the years as well. This question is from Melon, our camera operator. Is it possible to have lighting without baking, as I have an AMD graphics card and can't bake lighting?
You're going to want to bake that lighting. If your AMD card can't bake it, it's definitely not going to run it in VR chat, I promise you that. So just try and bake it the best you can. You can bake on the CPU if you have no other option. but it's going to be very slow. Do have a look at Bakery though. Bakery again is a fantastic plugin and it will help you with the AMD cards. I think they have some mentions of the AMD cards on the Bakery documentation as well. So definitely have a look at it. I think it's like $40-50, but it's the best lighting tool you'll ever use. I mean, we used it here, so you can see how good it is.
Yeah, awesome. Another question from Lembo Wolfox. Will paintings or banners export?
Unfortunately not, because paintings and banners are actually entities in Minecraft. Again, you could maybe create like a plane or just take a cube and put an image on it. You could go and get the painting textures and put those on. Again, another fun thing you could work on. But unfortunately, those are considered entities, so you will not be able to export those using Mineways as of yet.
All right. Titan Multihead asks, does Mineways work with Bedrock, or is it only Java?
So, okay, you can do it with Bedrock, but you can't just take a Bedrock world file and stick it in there. However, you can use a tool like MCEdit to take the Bedrock world if you're able to get it on your computer somehow. I think Xbox or Microsoft let you do it some way. Put it into MCEdit. You can then convert it to a Java Edition world. Rest is as is explained here as well. So, and again, all the slides will be uploaded, so you'll be able to have a look at those to run through it again. So yes, you can, but you have to convert it first.
All right. We seem to be running low on questions, and we're running out of time, so I'll ask one more quick one. Will this tool work with previous older versions of Minecraft, or would it just be more up-to-date currently?
Yep, it will do everything. The only things that might be a little bit different are if there were changes. So for example, the gravel texture's changed a couple of times, the new Minecraft texture pack's all there. So the old world geometry will still export, because the Mineways updates is just including new blocks that are getting added. Ultimately, that's all it cares about. So yes, you can use old versions, but the textures will still be ported to the new one. Though I think there is a texture pack for the original programmer art, so do check that out. I think that is there actually.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Atlas, for your presentation.
Thank you so much. I just want to say thank you to everyone for coming. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you to people that have come here to watch me today. Thank you to the event stream team for having us. And just there's so many more teams I want to thank for this. But have a wonderful time on Solara. I hope you enjoy the rest of the convention. And if you see me, don't be afraid to say hi. It was an absolute pleasure, and have a wonderful time, everyone. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. While we were at the center, we asked the team a very fun question. How many digits into pi do you know?
Into what?
Pi.
Oh. Seven. Okay, you're not gonna prove it? Oh, so I went to public school in Utah, but my math teacher was great. She taught us the cheers with the sine, cosine, sine, 3.14159.
Right. No, 3.14.
Yeah, that's all that
Hi,
was in my head.
I'm a doctor.
I have a feeling there's some inside jokes going on here.
No, that's actually genuinely what we wanted. So like, get out of it. It's just like you wouldn't know, and then you would say something like that, which is like it's totally perfect. Like that's great. Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Terrifying.
You know, you're good.
Please consider donating and enjoy Furality Umbra.